In this video, looking at Romans chapter 8, verse 28, and we know that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. This is probably the most popular verse in the book. It's also one of the most common verses ripped out of context and misapplied. Remember that contextually, Paul has been discussing that the current period in which believers live is one of waiting or suffering in faith. This verse is so frequently used to say that God allows only good things to happen to people who love him. That is not, however, what Paul is saying. This statement is meant to be a comfort to believers and a reassurance that even the bad things they face on this side of eternity and even their sufferings have a purpose. And that purpose, Paul says, is good. God works these things toward his own purpose. It's the same realization that Joseph has at the end of Genesis when he tells his brothers, what you intended for evil, God intended for good. God did not help Joseph to circumvent his sufferings, but instead worked through them to bring about his own ends. So the degree to which we accept this as true is the degree to which we understand God's character to be purely and entirely good. The believer must take this on faith and no small amount of trust, and that is not necessarily easy despite how often this verse is thrown out. Keep the context straight here. Paul is talking about suffering, not living your best life now. But the great hope of the Christian is that their suffering is not pointless and a greater good thing is still to come.